Hello. Over the course of the last couple of years, I have assembled a little collection of these very tiny, stubby little mini shotgun microphones for the top of a camcorder or a small DSLR. Things like the Rode VideoMicro, which is in fact what I'm recording this on. It's right here, just out of shot. But you know the kind of thing. Things like this. And I've got about 4 of these now. The Rode VideoMicro, I've got the one sent to me recently by MCOPlus. I did a review on that in, I think it was the last video. I recently bought the Deity D4 Duo, and then the most recent purchase of all was this one, which is the Joby Wavo Mobile. They've got 2 versions of this, the Wavo, which is a bigger version, and then the Wavo Mobile, which is that one. And I thought it might be useful for my own ears, apart from anything else, to do a direct comparison between the microphones. So we'll start with just a normal audio test inside, hear what the microphones sound like compared with one another. And I've done the test both with their wind jammers on, because they all come with a little wind jammer, and with the wind jammer off, just in case having the wind jammer on affects the sound. I do a proper wind jammer test later as well. Well, let's start with just the normal audio quality.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. However little known the feelings or views of such a man may be on his first entering a neighbourhood, this truth is so well fixed in the minds of the surrounding families that he is considered the rightful property of someone or other of their daughters. Mr. Bennet, how can you abuse your own children in such a way? You take delight in vexing me. You have no compassion for my poor nerves. You mistake me, my dear. I have a high respect for your nerves. They are my old friends. I have heard you mention them with consideration these last 20 years at least. Why, my dear, you must know Mrs. Long says that Netherfield is taken by a young man of large fortune from the north of England, that he came down on Monday in a chaise and 4 to see the place, and was so much delighted with it that he agreed with Mr. Morris immediately that he is to take possession before Michaelmas, and some of his servants are to be in the house by the end of next week. But I hope you will get over it, and live to see many young men of 4,000 a year come into the neighbourhood. It will be no use to us if 20 such should come, since you will not visit them. Depend upon it, my dear, that when there are 20, I will visit them all. How so? How can it affect them? My dear Mr. Bennet, replied his wife, how can you be so tiresome? You must know that I am thinking of his marrying one of them. Is that his design in settling here? Design? Nonsense! How can you talk so? But it is very likely that he may fall in love with one of them, and therefore you must visit him as soon as he comes. Mr. Bennet was so odd a mixture of quick parts, sarcastic humour, reserve, and caprice, that the experience of 23 years had been insufficient to make his wife understand his character. Her mind was less difficult to develop. She was a woman of mean understanding, little information, and uncertain temper. In such cases a woman has not often much beauty to think of. But, my dear, you must indeed go and see Mr. Bingley when he comes into the neighbourhood. It is more than I engage for, I assure you. But consider your daughters. Only think what an establishment it would be for one of them. When she was discontented, she fancied herself nervous. The business of her life was to get her daughters married. Its solace was visiting and news. Mr. Bennet was among the earliest of those who waited on Mr. Bingley. He had always intended to visit him, though to the last always assuring his wife that he should not go, and till the evening after the visit was paid, she had no knowledge of it.
These being shotgun mics, notionally, even though they are very tiny, the idea should be that they pick up sound in front of them, but reject any sound that is off axis. So in other words, if you're speaking to it like that, it's good, and if you speak to it to the side or behind it, it should reject the sound. But really, in something that small, how well can that work? Well, again, it's an unscientific test, but it's a test, and here's what I found.
This is a test standing directly in front of the Rode VideoMicro at a distance of 50 centimetres. I will now turn the microphone through 90 degrees and address it from the side. This is a test talking into the side of the Rode VideoMicro from a distance of 50 centimetres. I will now turn the microphone round so I'm talking into it from the back.
This is a test of the Rode VideoMicro, talking into it from the back. It is now at 180 degrees to me. It shouldn't be picking up me much at all, although obviously in a small room like this, quite a lot of sound will go back round the front, but it should be isolating some of it. Let's now compare it with the other microphones.
This is a test of the MCOPlus microphone, currently speaking directly into it from a distance of 50 centimetres. I will now turn the microphone through 90 degrees. This is a test speaking into the side of the MCOPlus microphone from a distance of 50 centimetres, but what is its off-axis rejection like? Let's now turn it to 180 degrees. I'm now speaking into the MCOPlus microphone from directly behind it. It is facing away from me. It is at 180 degrees. This is a test of the Deity D4 Duo. I'm speaking directly into it from a distance of around 50 centimetres. I will now turn the microphone through 90 degrees. This is a test of speaking into the side of the Deity D4 Duo from a distance of about 50 centimetres. The microphone is at 90 degrees to me. I will now turn it round to 180 degrees.
This is a test speaking into the Deity D4 Duo. For avoidance of doubt, I have switched the rear-facing microphone off, so what you are hearing is certainly the forward-facing microphone, but it is facing away from me at 180 degrees.
This is a test of the Joby Wavo Mobile microphone, speaking into it from a distance of 50 centimetres. The microphone is directly pointing at me. I'll now turn it through 90 degrees. This is a test of speaking into the side of the Joby Wavo Mobile microphone, again from the same test distance of 50 centimetres. I'll now turn it around so it's facing away from me.
This is a test of the Joby Wavo Mobile, speaking directly behind it. It is facing directly away from me, but what is its off-axis rejection like, I wonder, especially when compared to the others? The final test then is how well they perform in a breeze outdoors. They all come with a little wind jammer on them. Some are smaller wind jammers than others. The biggest jammer, the fluffiest one, comes with the Rode VideoMicro. I think the smallest one is the one with the MCOPlus microphone, but it's a close run thing with the Deity D4 Duo. So I waited until we had a fairly decent breezy day, and then I subjected them all to that breeze, and here's what happened.
This is the Rode VideoMicro with its own quite big fluffy wind jammer on it in a stiff breeze at the back of the boat. But can you hear me over the breeze? I will take the wind jammer off and you can hear what it sounds like with that. This is the Rode VideoMicro without its wind jammer. The wind is still blowing. This is the MCOPlus microphone in a very stiff breeze with its own little wind jammer on it. And how well is it coping, I wonder. Let me see what it sounds like without the wind jammer on it at all. This is the MCOPlus microphone with no wind jammer on it. This is a test of the Deity D4 Duo with its own wind jammer on in quite a stiff breeze. I'll now take the wind jammer off and you can hear what the wind sounds like. This is what the Deity D4 Duo sounds like with the wind jammer off in quite a stiff breeze. This is the Joby Wavo Mobile with its own wind jammer on it in a reasonably stiff breeze. I'll take the wind jammer off as before and we can hear what the wind sounds like without it. This is the Joby Wavo Mobile without its wind jammer on. There is a fair breeze below.
Overall, I think we can say that the Rode VideoMicro is still the king. I think it sounds best. It's a little bit muffled. I like to give it a little bit of a peak in EQ afterwards, but I think it does sound the best. It's certainly got the best wind jammer of all of them, and the Wavo Mobile, I would say, runs it a very close run thing. I think the VideoMicro retails for about £46. The Joby is about £38. I'm not sure what the MCOPlus is. I think it's about 25. And the Deity D4 Duo, for reasons of what it does, namely it's two microphones in one pointing forwards and one pointing backwards. So it's a different use case, but that retails at about 90 quid. But since it's two microphones and the VideoMicro is about 45, 90 quid is about the right ballpark. My only real complaint with that one, and I've said it before, is that the windjammer that comes with it is poor. Now, Deity did get in touch with me after I put my review of the D4 up on tubeshooter.co.uk, and they said, oh, we'd like to come back to you with an updated version that's better. I said, terrific, and then never heard anything from them again. So I don't know if they're now working on a different version or not. But part of the reason I bought this was to see if buying other microphones that come with windjammers would give me a nice windjammer for the D4 Duo, because I really want to use that. I like it for what it does, but the windjammer is terrible, so I wanted a better windjammer. Anyway, windjammers will be a different test, because I've bought not only the ones that come with these mics, but I bought a smattering of standalone ones as well, and I will do a different video about those. That's it for this one. I hope it was in some small way useful. Cheers now. Bye-bye.